Good morning, Rosie.
Good morning, Carole. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And you?
Good. I'm doing well. It's hot here, it's humid here, which is unusual because I live in a high desert. So it's very different weather from what we normally have. Are you still staying cold there?
It's warming up. It's
Is
warming
it
up.
warming up?
So yeah, we're good. We're good. We're getting there. I am excited to talk about our July reading for the messages from the Body of Wisdom Oracles. You
Yes,
ready?
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm ready. So do you want to start with our springboard card?
Well, let's first we talk about, using our self-published decks. So
Oh,
if,
right.
if you're
Okay.
new to watching this, we use our of the 5 self-published decks that we've created, and we call them the Body of Wisdom Oracles. They work independently, but they work beautifully as a team. We felt like when the Manifestor deck came, it felt like a complete set. It really felt a completion to the evolution of the journey. So we're excited about sharing some of that wisdom with you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I am an integrative practitioner of metaphysics with numerous certifications and loads of studies in different modalities and subject matters. I'm passionate about creating purposeful tools. That's really where I find the most uh, passion in that. Is bringing back the power into your own hands. I always feel like not everybody can afford a healer on speed dial, and it becomes a solo journey, and it's an internal journey. It's looking inward all the time. So having the tools to do that is my kind of my purpose. And I do facilitate private and group sessions. So let's meet Rosemary.
Yeah, I was so excited about the cards. I forgot that we needed to introduce ourselves because I think we have really good pull this month for the cards that came up. So I'm Rosie. I'm Rosemary Nevara. I'm a psychic medium. I do all kinds of things, tapping into my gifts. I communicate with all manner of beings, including those that have transition. That's what a medium does. I also uh, read people's auras. I communicate with animals. And then I use divination tools as well. Besides doing direct readings, I use divination tools. I'm particularly fond of our oracle decks because I think that they're spectacular. Tooting our own horn. We work really hard on them and we love them. They're our children. So I love using my oracle decks and other decks and scrying and things to do readings. But of course, the Body of Wisdom oracles are my favorite. I'm also passionate about using my abilities, and everybody has these, they just haven't necessarily developed them. I'm passionate about being of service to others using these abilities to help them grasp things and get information in a very unusual way.
Yeah, and I know that you've been a psychic since childhood, right?
Yeah, it started early on. It took me a long time to figure out that everybody wasn't like me. And then when I realized that everybody wasn't like me, I became very reserved because I was also raised in a very strict religion, and it was inappropriate to be able to know things and see things and hear things uh, that that were from a different realm. So yeah, it was an interesting childhood, needless to say.
So our intention is always to help you kind of grab a better sense of balance through to maneuver life, to navigate life and its up and downs. So and to really create, for us, we really inspired to live those kind of the soulful, joyful living mantra. And we aspire others to do the same. So this is really in support of you creating the your best days. And the messages are from, so those are the cards that we pulled. And the springboard, did you want to start or do you want me to
You
start?
go ahead and start. I'll follow.
Okay, so we use the Manifestor deck as the springboard for each of the messages each month. And the card that came up is Unified Field of Wholeness. Try to center it here so you can see it. And I have a lot of,
Yeah, it's a
and
beautiful card.
its message is for the purpose of manifesting my soul's desires, I step into the unified field of wholeness, seeking alignment with my divine plan. I bask in the light of the great central sun where I awaken to my I am presence. On the path of self-actualization, I embrace my true forms of expression.
Yeah, this is such a beautiful card.
I, it's I found that as I'm learning more and more about who I am, I feel more and more aligned to my divine plan, to my purpose. And it's really about claiming our I am presence. I feel I know I had to go through that
Mhm.
and allow myself to create those true form of expression. So I found that the oracle is my medium. The art is a form of expression for me because I want it to be multisensorial.
Mhm.
And I want to create multisensorial experiences for individuals through the cards, through the writing, through even our discussions. It's another form of expression for us. And it took a little bit of effort for us to get to this point of doing the videos.
This was our most, I think it was the most rigorous deck that we worked on.
Yes.
Sometimes we could only do one card a night because it was the information that came through was so dense and
Eh,
so deep that it was exhausting.
Yes, we were lucky we could do one card a night. Sometimes we had to skip a few days also before in
Yeah,
between because we had to integrate some of that. And
right,
I think we grew a lot from learning to go through that
absolutely.
process.
Yeah,
Be-
I felt shifts, lots of shifts when we were doing this. I love how it talks about the um, the situation where we're working toward aligning with our divine plans.
Mhm.
And as we do that, we find our authentic selves. A
Right,
lot of us have a hard time finding our authentic. Been through our family of origin and our friends and life's experiences, we're sort of taught who everybody else thinks we are, how everybody else sees us. But oftentimes that clouds our authentic self.
right.
So if we can align with our divine plan, with our divine blueprint, then we're able to walk our paths authentically and feel fulfilled and like we're here doing what we came here to do. I love this card. This is such a great card. I love the message.
And I think the way to get to that is to know yourself. To
Absolutely.
keep looking inward and keep digging and keep uncovering because a lot of it is has been hidden or it's like for me, um, it's a funny thing, but I never gave myself the option. First, I didn't realize I had options, which can be very an incredible statement in some ways because it's like everybody has options, but I was
Yeah.
not aware that I had options. It's like I felt like, I went and worked for my dad. I did what I was told. I studied what I was told. So it's kind of like, um, it didn't feel like I had choices.
Right, right.
So, you know, and sometimes the choices that we make are influenced by quote the baggage we carry, right? So
Exactly.
so then and I felt like I took the easy way when I went and worked with my dad. Well, but he
Oh,
wasn't
you
easy.
almost got worked to death. That wasn't easy. You
But
know, and
it's through self-awareness, I think, that
right,
we
right.
get to that point of really aligning to that divine plan, and then to really claiming our presence, not only on the spiritual level, but also on claiming our presence in matter,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. And I think that when you were talking about your experience growing up and working with your family, uh, so much of who we think we are comes from expectations of others.
Mhm.
And especially if you have parents who use you as labor, or if you have parents who um, wanted to do something, a dad who wanted to play football professionally or wanted to be a really good athlete might push his children to, they live vicariously. Parents tend to tend to live vicariously through their children, so that they're things that they weren't able to do, they get to experience through their kids.
Right,
But what they wanted and what you are here to do and want don't always mesh up. And so you're not living your authentic self.
right.
And so you're right. It takes looking in. Oftentimes it takes breaking free of stuff as well.
Definitely had to do some of that.
Yeah, yes. This is a really finding that alignment. That's yeah, it can be tough.
And it feels like the image, it's like it's lighting the way kind of thing.
Yes,
You know, it's kind of like the light is there. We just need to get to that light.
right,
Um,
right. And this makes me think of a scope.
uh-huh.
Like if you're looking through a scope at something like a telescope or a microscope, it's like looking through something so you get a bead on that light. It helps you focus on it. So I think of this as the aid in giving you the focal point of leading you to the light.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it almost looks like a ladder.
It does look like a
So
ladder. Yeah,
it's like you're taking steps. The more you go inward, the higher you go.
right.
And then the more gets revealed, and the closer you get to reaching that authenticity. So
Right. It does look
interesting.
like a ladder. It does.
Yeah, I
Very
just
cool.
and you know it was I just noticed. I mean, I sometimes we forget to look at the cards as ourselves, and it
Yeah.
almost looks like a person on the top with the arms out.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've reached the top. I'm reaching there. I'm getting there.
Yeah. Right here.
Reaching
Yeah.
the top.
Reaching the top. And what's so fun about these cards and what's so amazing about your artwork is that we have a curator who has all of our decks. She uses them all the time. And she says, I never see the same card twice. Even though she may have drawn the same multiple times, she doesn't see the same card twice, because the reason for drawing the card, the question she's asking, and the images help ignite your imagination. Imagination in turn ignites the image, and you see something different every single time. I had completely forgotten about this part,
Yeah,
this ladder.
you could also see it maybe as the Kundalini awakening in some
Right.
ways. Like the
Yeah, the coming up the
right,
spine.
right.
Yeah, yeah. So we encourage people who use these decks to get your own message from the image. You don't just have to read what we've written or what's come through. So yeah, this is a great springboard for stepping into alignment with our divine plan and embracing our authentic selves.
And then the next card, you want to take that one,
Sure, I'll take
Rosemary?
that.
This
The
is
next
the
card is I Am Mother of Pearl. This is from our crystal deck. And this card, all of these cards start with I am, and then it names the stone or the crystal or the metal. I am Mother of Pearl, voicing a message of it's your responsibility to bring things offered by these gifts to life. So this is a card about sharing your gifts with others, and it's your responsibility to do that because they're not going to get out there if you don't do it, if you don't put it out. Observe the opportunities, endless imagination, ideas, creativity, adaptability, possibilities, potentialities, and abundance. All of these beautiful opportunities are gifts laid out before you for your benefit. If you use freely, if you use them freely, unless you do that, nobody's gonna take any of the gifts up and benefit from them, nor will you. They won't take them up on your behalf. They won't do your job for you. It's your job to explore those and access them. It's your responsibility to apply them, to take advantage of them. These gifts are at your fingertips. Bring them to life. So once you've stepped into your divine alignment and into your authenticity, then you start looking for the things that are available to you and to use them for your benefit and the benefit of others. So it's a nice dovetail. It's a really nice
Right.
dovetail.
And expansion inward becomes an expansion outward through
Yes.
the uncovering of those gifts and talents and skills and what you didn't not necessarily were aware of that you had, but it's there and it just needs to be
Yeah.
either reawakened or reignited. I
Right.
guess
And
it's the same
sometimes it's been
meaning.
suppressed,
Exactly.
either
Oh
by
yeah,
yourself
definitely.
of what you've been taught, what you've been told, or somebody is oppressing you, so you suppress stuff. So yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
those gifts, everybody has those, and they're part of your authentic self, and they benefit you and others. So you service to yourself and others by tapping into those gifts.
I just love the image itself.
Oh yeah.
I love the use of the mix of the silver and then the light blue, and it feels a little bit metallic in some ways with the reflections
It
of the
does.
light.
It does. Now on my camera, for some reason, my camera skews colors to the blue,
Yes.
into the blue frequency of blue, the vibration of blue. Um, the one that Carole is, her camera is more accurate. It's got that almost silvery metallic pearlescence. It's
Right.
pearlescence to it. Yeah.
So the next card that we pulled to based on the springboard of the Unified Field of Wholeness is from our Working with Colors Oracle, and it's emerald green. So we were talking about expansion, so we just couldn't just look at the spiral of expansion right here.
Oh yeah.
This one embraces the frequencies and qualities of love, overcoming, and abundance. So the message in here is I'm open to the experience of overcoming the hurdles on my path by aligning to the frequency of pure love. From that state of being, my abundance is always assured. So, we're talking about overcoming the hurdles, and it's only through self-awareness that I think we can recognize them as hurdles. I mean, we can see life as a struggle, but we could also see life as a way to learn, and those hurdles are just stepping stones to opening that field of pure love and opening up the doors of abundance. Because sometimes we get stuck into the mentality of lack, and through pure love, we recognize that it's just like a distorted perception, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I love this card. I'm a spiral freak. I love spirals because they're similar to circles, is that because they go around and around, but when you're working with a circle, when you go back around to where you started, you're in the same place. When you're on a spiral, you get back around to the starting point, but you've leveled up. And for me, this card is about leveling up to love, leveling up to overcoming, and leveling up to abundance, because it's there. It's just that we have, like the card says, hurdles in our paths, or perceived hurdles in our paths, that keep us from leveling up and falling into alignment with those qualities. So and we all have access to universal abundance, so it's there waiting for us to claim.
And I think it opens the understanding of the door to recognize that we are whole already,
Yes,
but it's just a matter of reconnecting with that, because oftentimes we forgot that that's what our true essence is in love.
yes,
But
exactly.
it's easy for us to have forgotten because of whatever experiences we're meeting every day.
Right, and that dovetails nicely into the I am card, which is an affirmation card from this deck, Carol's first deck.
Yeah.
And so it dovetails to this because it's I am no longer a victim. So when you step into that quality of understanding that you were created in love and you are love, you are loving, you are lovable, and you are love, you can stop seeing yourself as a victim and take responsibility. We're right back to the Pearl Mother of Pearl card. Take responsibility for who you are, and step away from that victimhood, because when the victim situation kicks in, you give your power away and expect somebody else to fix things for you and make it better, because you're the one that has had whatever experience you've had that's made you feel like a victim. So it's really important to release that mentality, so you, as you believe, so it is. So if you believe you were a victim, you will be a victim. So
Self-prophecy, right?
yes, it's self-fulfilling prophecy. So yeah, no longer being a victim is really, really powerful. And that plays the other cards as far as being authentic, taking responsibility, alignment, all of those things. Once you do that, you don't have to be a victim anymore, because you're taking full responsibility for your actions and your thoughts and your deeds. So yeah, I love
Right.
this card. And you
It
know
is.
what? It feels butterfly-ish to me. This to me looks like the corner of a butterfly's wing with this nice little bullseye in the middle. And so to me, this also speaks of transformation, because butterflies metamorphose from eggs to pupa to caterpillars going into chrysalis, and then they dissolve into imaginal goo, which can turn into anything that they want it to. So you
Mm,
can turn yourself into anything you want yourself to if you release the victim mentality and become your own imaginal go into chrysalis and get all gooey and come back out completely transformed, like this butterfly, sense of butterfly. Every time I see this, I think of a butterfly and transformation.
it's a better interpretation than mine when that card came up.
What was
But
your interpretation when you first
well,
designed the card?
the whole design, because I had to shrink it to make
Oh,
it
right.
do, but the whole design that came up almost looked like I like detective shows and stuff, and it felt like the, the tracing when you have a murder victim and then the cops
Oh,
kind of
right. You
trace
have the
them.
tape around it, or
Yeah,
you
or
have the
they
chalk
traced it
drawing.
with a chalk, and it felt like the outline of a bird of
Oh,
a
see, I
person, a
can see how
victim.
I can see that. But when the first time I saw it, I thought, oh, it's a butterfly. It must be a transformative card. And then when I turned it over and it said, no longer a victim, I said, oh my God, it is a transformation card. Transforming from a victim to no longer being a victim. So, and
Right.
the yellow and the pink together, such a happy card. It's a
Yes.
happy card.
I mean, I chuckled when I saw it. And I'm like, well, there's nothing else that can be, but I am no longer a victim because, you had the chalk defining a victim on the floor.
Perfect.
So I'm like, okay, it has to be that card. That has to be that. But it is about taking responsibility. It is about, I think, identifying the patterns that may keep us into the victim
Oh,
mentality,
yeah,
into the victim mode.
absolutely.
And who are we blaming? So it's an outer, the blame, and then the victim is kind of like an outer experience when we have to look at the inward experience again, and getting to know who we are and looking at those patterns and being able to identify them and then release them, because that opens the doors to that freedom, and recognizing again our wholeness and being part of that unified field of possibilities that is there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely. I like
Absolutely.
I like your idea of a butterfly with this.
Yeah, that's the first thing that hit me. It looked like a part of the upper lobe of a butterfly wing. And I thought, oh, it's butterflies, it's transformation. You
And
had the chalk drawing. That's so funny.
the next one is the Elixir of Life from the Consciousness deck. So this is our Consciousness deck. And this message, all of the consciousness cards start out with "I'm grateful for," because it's we felt like being in the. I mean, maybe I'm not speaking for you, but I felt like the being in the space of gratitude, that frequency of gratitude just expands. We're already expanding
Absolutely.
just because we are a part of that gratitude frequency. So
Yeah,
but
I agree.
this message says, "I'm grateful for who I am and the remembrance of nurturing my relationship with my higher self. This awareness is my gateway to the elixir of life, igniting all potentialities." So really, each of the card has reminded us that it is an inward work. It is inner work that we got to do. And that feeding and fostering that relationship with our higher self will unravel those gifts, will provide us with the possibilities, the potentialities. It will open doors to no longer being a victim. It will open up to the frequency of love and abundance. So, and that's the elixir of life, is really enjoying life as the best way we could. It's
Right.
and I think each one of us has a different definition of what the elixir of life would be. So
Oh,
it's
of
about
course.
honoring that. So it's also about honoring what we choose for ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love this phrase where it says, nurturing my relationship with my higher self. That whenever I get this card, that always really pops out at me, because so much of the time, our relationships with ourselves, are human, are very, very skewed. So if we nurture that relationship and then we expand it to our relationships with our higher selves, we really have the opportunity to grow.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
again, it's about,
This,
stepping into that spiral of leveling
right,
up and then keep on evolving. And so it's a beautiful,
exactly.
beautiful message of if you want things to change, we got to do the inner work.
Exactly. If you want things to shift, you want to do the inner work. And this also made me think of Taurus, because Taurus is about establishing, the sign of Taurus is about essential needs. It's about resources. It's about grounding and establishing yourself, um, so that you can live, so that you have life. So, and Taurus is also about your relationship with yourself, and your personal form of magnetism is comes from your relationship with yourself. So this just really makes me think about how important your relationship with yourself and your relationship with your higher self are, in helping you do that. You do that inner work and it helps you move forward so that you can reach all your potentialities.
And when we look at the screen, and I had a little bit of a technical mishap, so I apologize for that.
Oh, that's
Uh,
okay.
but it looks like the blues bring tranquility, calmness, and then you have that little spark of light in the middle, which is that the recognizing. I'm looking at it from like being that this spark, this divine spark. It almost looks like there's a person standing here,
It does. It looks like the
right?
silhouette of a person. Yeah, let me see if I can get that in the camera right here.
And
In
then
this
and
area.
then um, the magenta kind of makes me think of, magenta is associated with compassion.
Right.
So I'm trying to make it so you can see it better. But so it almost feels like a fountain.
Yes,
When
it
it
does.
almost looks like a fountain on the bottom part. So it's about stepping into like the emerald, remind us to step into that pure frequency of the frequency of pure love. And then as we do that, then we step into this fountain of compassion, because as we recognize our wholeness, we recognize also the wholeness of other people, and their tribulations and their trials and errors. And so it's really it almost feels like it's a complete view of who we are as
Yeah.
divine beings, and recognizing that in the other person. I don't know if I'm expressing myself
Yeah.
properly, but that's
Not
kind of
even, it's not even like a panoramic view. It's like 360.
yeah, yeah,
It's more like a holographic.
uh-huh.
The tiniest pieces, part of the whole has tiny pieces that are still reflect the whole. So yeah, interesting. I like that take on it.
And I think, and also it's interesting, like the light within the ear area feels like we need to hear from a divine perspective. So we let go of the judgments and the interpretation or the assumptions, and really hear what is being said or what is needed to be heard, so that we can step into that space of enjoying life as it's supposed to. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. This is a good draw this month.
Yes,
Good
yes,
set of
that's
cards. And
sometimes.
it's all in the, you did a beautiful write-up in the blog.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So we do offer an Oracle Circle once a month, every third Sunday, and there is a $10 contribution, and this is free access to our links, depending on the tier that you're in, into our links community. It would be a free access to that.
And
And
Links is on Patreon, right?
yeah, so we have our Love Your Next Expression.
Right.
And we also have opportunity for you to interact with us through our Facebook group. So it's the Body of Wisdom Oracle Circle. So you're welcome to join us. Rosemary shares some mini readings every day of the week,
5 days a week, yeah.
from Monday
I
through
take the weekends off.
Friday.
The
Yeah.
business week.
Right, business week, yes. And then I share the daily oracle, and some card spreads and some artwork. So you're welcome to join us there. And then we launched this past month in June, we launched our links community with Jean Ann and Grace and Rosemary and I. And this is a community of loving your next expression. So it's you have different tiers, and we have within each tier, you have a different access to, like in the empowerment, you have access to insights from the body of wisdom. We have guides and playbooks. Like the June one, the guide for the lower tier was about 30 pages. The the one for the higher tier was about 50 pages. So we share a lot of activities for you to do. So you're welcome to check us out there.
Right. So the activities and the playbooks and everything are all tools that we've developed. And Carol's the artist, so she's made it all eye candy. And she's done the lion's share of the work of it. It's beautiful. And Jean Ann also does beautiful meditations and offers beautiful experiences through it as well. But it's all about, it's tools and activities to help with spiritual growth, right? That's
Yeah.
that's our goal. So, and we have is it a 7-day? It's a 7-day free trial.
Yeah, they have access to.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you wanted to reach us, so this is our information. I am at hello@soulfuljoyfulliving.com, and Rosemary is rdrnevara@gmail.com. So you're welcome to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to support you in any way we can. Thank you very much for being with us this month, and I'll see you again next month.
I'll see you in July. Sounds good.
In August.
Oh, wait,
This is
so it'll
July.
be August. Okay. Yeah. I
All
am
right.
just flaky today.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.